I think I got it. Okay. So thank you for joining today. We are a small group today, which I feel is really fun because we can really have a fun conversation. This is my formal invitation to you. If you're feeling something or feeling inspiration or some wise words coming through, please do not hesitate. Speak up. This is definitely a group conversation today. And I want to focus on what I've explained to you earlier, but I'm saying this for the sake of the video for everyone who's watching. I'm not going to do like a kind of PowerPoint presentation, step-by-step analysis this month. I want to focus on the group read for everybody, just kind of like our group karma and what we're doing together and the positive effects of what we have been doing by meeting and discussing, reflecting, meditating, doing our spiritual work, and taking an inventory of what it is that we're doing now and where we want to go going forward, and then individual readings, if you're okay with that. And just hoping that whoever watches this learns and gleans from it and feels something special from it, and whatever you might need from it in terms of spiritual nourishment, insight, intuitive nudges, it will help you to grow. It will help you to gain whatever it is that you need so you can move forward in life and feel very much loved, that you're not alone. You're very much supported and in a community, because it's very important to me as we go through this time as a nation. And, Spirit of the Law is not just about like, oh, me. It's about all of us and how can I make a difference on the collective, and how is the collective um, affecting me, and how am I taking this, seeing other people. And I think kind of that's the reason why I feel like today we're going to focus more on our group and the people who are here today, because I just want to focus on that energy rather than just kind of like the mess of the country right now, because we're in the FAFO phase of this time. I mean, it's getting bad. I mean, I just saw a video of San Diego and the San Diegans. San Diego's practically Mexico. Like, what are they doing? And people are standing up and they're not having it. And I feel like there is this sense of rebellion, and we're seeing that sense of rebellion. And I say bravo to those people, because we don't know if a lot of these ICE people are even real ICE. And some of them are saying they're just hired vigilantes or whatever. But some of them could be sickos and perverts and murderers and kidnappers, taking people off the street with no recourse whatsoever for their actions and disappearing people. Um, but here's a few things I will report on before I get into it that I had seen. I saw a meeting, a cabinet meeting, and the Secretary of National Security, the lady, I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now, she was speaking. And I felt when I was watching this, she was speaking, and I felt as if I could feel her energy. And what I felt in her energy was like, it sounded really weird, but it sounded like the sizzling of hot lava. It's weird, but it was like a frequency of the sizzling of hot lava. And for me, it was like, oh, she's fomenting a hell inside of herself that is affecting her own psychology, and then she's pushing it out into the world, and she's creating hell on earth. And we've said this before in previous group meetings, that some people are definitely on their way to hell and they're there and they would love to drag you with them. And this is a woman who is psychologically in hell. And this is a group who's psychologically in hell. And the reason why I heard, as I was doing my research and reading on what is it that I'm witnessing, is this level of morbidity in their consciousness. There are some people who have morbid thoughts. You can tell people who have morbid thoughts, whether it's through alcoholism or an illness or an obsession or some kind of perversion, or, I'm not judging people or taking a moralistic view or a religious view. It's like you can tell, you'll know a tree by its fruit kind of vibe. And I think the greatest metaphor for what I'm saying is if we could imagine a plant, and let's say you have a monstera, right? It just got a monstera and it's big and it's lush and it's beautiful. And it has this little pot. And when we have this plant, we obsess about the beauty of the leaves, right? If it's shiny and it's good and it's strong and they're big. But we have to remember that the only reason why we get these beautiful leaves and this wonderful performance and the shininess is because of the nutrients and the care that we give the roots, that nervous system, if you will, of the plant. And that's the same thing when we have our brain and our bodies being the externalization of our mind in the calcification of our subconscious mind, which is the collective whole of everything we believe to be true and our self-concepts of ourself, but that are primarily fed with thoughts. And so when I saw this group of marauding, morbid people who are hell bent on creating destruction and hurting people in their state of lovelessness, you can see that it does start when you have a more astral perspective. Then I call it like the astral view, like the cause and effect view. And I could see like, oh, she feels this way, she thinks this way, she's behaving this way, and this is the energy that she's producing, and this is the reality she's creating. And again, it's like it is in a weird way. We create our reality through our own echo chamber of our thoughts and our feelings. And this group of people, it is this like vacuum that sucks you in, chews you up, and then spits you out, which we've seen with some of these other Trump advisors and staff members who have been sucked in, chewed up, and then spit out, and then come back and say he's a psychopath. I wouldn't endorse him. Mike Pence being one of them, these types of people. But we're showing that it is like this. If I could explain this group of people, this psychological group of people, if you could imagine it being in a weird way, this black hole. And it's like a dust cloud that absorbs and sucks in people, chews them up and spits them out. And you're seeing that right now with Elon Musk. All that money in the world, he got sucked in, chewed up, and now he's spit out into the side. And you can see, and you don't have to be a psychic to know these things. It's just common sense. And if you're old enough to know what's happened in the last 10 years, you know everybody who gets involved with Trump gets scammed. I mean, and this guy, richest man on earth, gets scammed. And now he's lost everything because of it. His credibility, his reputation, his credit, the adoration of people, the people who are going to include him on television and award ceremonies and all galas, the Met Gala and all these things. Like he's lost it now. Like he's dead rotten meat and nobody wants a taste of that anymore. But it just goes to show that you could have all the money in the world and still be a fool. You can still be a fool and you can still get fooled. And you think that with your own selfish nature and your own selfish desires, that there will be no consequences for that. And there are consequences for that. And so the question goes to us is like, how does this relate to me? How does this relate to me witnessing this, seeing all of this? And for me, in my own question, is this feeling a sense of powerlessness to change it. But of course, that comes from being human and playing this game, if you will, this 3D game of being a human being. But the truth is that this time for us as a group, that our super consciousness, our super awareness of who we are and our souls and our hearts and our souls and our connection to the greater whole, the oneness, the universe is like we're taking a different kind of view. Because to be honest, it's interesting, it's just us today as minority women who have been screwed around in life and who have participated in a system that wasn't built for us and survived nevertheless. We have at this time been forced to step back. This ain't our mess. I didn't make this mess. And in a weird way, and I've told you guys this before, and I've said this in videos, true tale videos of like my guides ripped me up by the roots and moved me here and planted me here. So what I'm saying to you ladies is that your roots are being pulled up because it's a toxic environment. You will not thrive. You will not bloom. You will not grow. Your guides are pushing you and putting you here. The vision I saw coming into this, I said, whoever is coming today, we got some kind of past life energy. For me, it feels like Atlantis because I saw myself on a beach, like a beach island, I don't know, a landmass, and I felt like there was this war. And I was watching this sea battle, air battle of people fighting, and I'm with a group of women on the beach, and we're watching this and we're looking at each other like this has nothing to do with us, and yet here we are watching it. And these people are literally destroying themselves. I feel, to be honest with you, at this point, energetically and spiritually, having, and I speak only for myself, but I am assuming you might feel the same way. But for the last 6 to 7 months, it's been horrible emotionally and psychologically to witness this. It's like, kind of like that Monsters Inc. guy when he thinks Boo's been eaten up in the trash compactor and he's just like passing out. It's like watching all hell break loose, and I can't stop this. These aren't my monkeys. This is not my circus. I didn't create this. I didn't do this. And wondering how in the hell does this have something to do with me? But I think it's the bystander effect. I think we're having some kind of bystander effect where by us witnessing them, we're learning about ourselves and they're learning about themselves by seeing us on the shore going, why are they standing there watching this and I'm here? And then we're going, why are we here? And they're there. And it's about what we're co-creating and we're co-witnessing. So I feel that the people who did not come today, and I was told this, was the people who did not come today still have some work to do. I think they still have some work to do in regards to this situation. It doesn't mean that's bad. It just means that there's stuff going on in your heart and your soul that's saying to you, there's some things I need to work out and become realizations, become aware of these realizations so I can move on. I feel, to be honest, us as a group today are moving on, going, they don't want my help. They don't want my help. They don't want to listen to me. Okay. So my sense is that we're moving on. And I don't mean forgetting them and saying, oh, well, you did this to yourself and victim blaming. That's not what I'm saying. Is my feeling is okay, well, who needs my help? In doing a triage within me, who's willing to receive me? Because in a weird way for me, especially the last 10 years in the career that I've had, even though I've had tons of clients and I've helped a lot of people, there have been a lot more people who have refused help from me and refused to listen to me and who've rejected me than there are the people who accepted me. And you have to grow through that and realize, oh, okay, well, they're not ready. These people are not ready for us. And not to take it personally, because I used to take it really personally. I don't take it personally anymore. Oh, you're not ready. Okay, well, see you later or never. That's the kind of vibe that I am getting. I feel that we energetically as a group, as women, are moving on. We're moving on to other projects, other luminous things. I think that we're climbing the ladder of life. I see stairs of golden light in front of us, and we're moving on because some people have their battles to fight. Some people have their messes to clean up. Some people have help to render and to serve, and that's their business, and that's whatever it is. There's no judgment to it. It's not saying it's a bad thing, but I feel for us, it's like, okay, well, a vacation would be nice, relaxation would be nice, going shopping would be nice, living a normal, restful, peaceful, prosperous life would be nice. Okay, well, I'm going to go do that right now. That's what I'm going to do. Because what I'm hearing is that how else are people going to move out of it if they don't see other people modeling that? Not saying disconnect and not vote and not know what's going on and not help your people and not to volunteer and not to assist. I'm not saying let them fend for themselves and don't care about the babies being unalived in Gaza. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's like you gotta keep living. How are we going to elevate the vibration of this planet if we do not live in the vibration of prosperity, if we don't live in the frequency of peace, if we don't live in the frequency of health and vitality? If I sink to that level, how can I help somebody? So today's message in a way is almost like how are you going to help sick people if you're not healthy? That's really the message. So, and that's kind of like the Bible says, you'll know a tree by its fruit. Well, if your fruit is prosperity and health and peace and joy and laughter and adventure and having valuable things and being a resource of goodness in the world, people are going to know. About what waters are you planted and what soil are you feeding? What fertilizer are you giving yourself? Because there will be, and I know this especially for Sherika, for some odd reason, I see people coming to you and almost like being spiritually thirsty, like starving and thirsty and miserable and hurting, and they just look at you and go, how does she get there? And it's not just systemic and, these kinds of things. It's not even through my own will. It's about the choice to go higher and higher in ever increasing states of joy, health, and abundance. So if you could imagine, life, like, it's Murphy's Law, like there's life could get bad and it could get worse. It's the opposite. My unexpected good could always get better. And to anticipate your unexpected good, like you're totally going in a different direction. And it doesn't mean that you're not present and you're not there to support. It just means like, I don't want to feel that way anymore. I don't want to feel that way anymore. I don't want to have those experiences anymore. I don't need to suffer to learn and grow because I am fully aware that if I think something negative, I'm going to experience something negative. For some odd reason, that's just like the powerful fullness of your spirit that is giving to me this sense of life is good and it's always getting better and it could get better and I'm ready for my unexpected good. And for you to say things like that to people, I don't see you proselytizing to people or preaching in a way, but it's almost like your attitude about life going forward is going to be like the message. My attitude is the message. You want to stop having problems and financial backsliding. Some people, it's like, I got money and I don't have money, or I have success and I don't have success. It's like because they have positive thoughts one day and the negative thoughts another. And it's this personal sense of refusal to sink down to lower levels that you stay there and keep climbing because there are infinite states of consciousness, psychological states of consciousness that you can dwell. I live here. I don't live there, is what I'm picking up from you. And I do feel that Just by doing that, that is enough for you to heal people. Just by doing that, that's enough to bring prosperity. Like my thing that I'm picking up from both of you is you go into a store and your energy is so good and so pure that it smells like perfume, and that sense of perfume that somebody picks up, and that alone makes them go, snaps them out of the trance. Because that's what I was seeing was like just this deeply hypnotized group of people in a trance of, hell on earth, life is going to get worse, things are bad, everybody's the enemy. This sense of like being in a mental war zone. Don't get me wrong, it's like I was frazzled and frizzled when I was in San Diego because I was very much aware of the suffering of people. I lived in mostly Hispanic town. So, and older, retired people, and the people were getting stretched thin, and I could feel that. And you feel that sense of suffering. But my warning is, if I may give a warning to you both and to anyone who's watching, is like right now, more than ever, people need you to not feel that way. Like you have to discipline yourself to not feel that way, to not, may I say, empathize with that. Like be aware of it and understand it and see it, but do not allow yourself to be infected by it, if that makes sense. I don't mean that in, oh, they're lepers. It's the metaphor of the lepers, where Jesus went to the lepers and healed the lepers. It's that metaphor of like your energy and your love and your wholeness is enough for them. You don't have to wear yourself thin through hard work and conjecture and convincing them to change their mind and heal their thoughts. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm actually asking you to take on a whole new level of healing through presence and to feel your presence. I talk a lot about that in engineering your mood, is to become aware of your own presence of love, of pure, unadulterated love. And I challenge you in the next coming months to sit in that love of your being, breathe it in and take it in, and become aware of how being aware of yourself in your purest sense, in your spiritual sense, is the most healing and aligning thing that you could do for yourself, but you could do that for other people. Um, Hold on a second, I'm hearing something. Sharika. So, you can talk to me however you want. I'm not gonna, it's not like a read like a TV read, but what I'm sensing something connected to your mom. I feel like the connection to your mom is somehow very important to this. Um, does that ring any bells? Does that feel something to you?
Um, I don't know. It just depends how. I see Autumn grinning there.
Why?
We uh we talk sometimes. We both have Leo moms,
Okay.
very much an experience, but we don't always have the best relationship, put it that way.
Okay. So the reason why I ask is because the feeling for me is almost like I have two different textures and they're rubbing together like this.
Hmm,
That's the sense. It feels like a rub.
that's interesting.
But in a weird way, may I say, that just because there is that friction doesn't mean you don't get the polish out of it. Like there is a benefit to that friction. But for some odd reason, when I feel that friction, it affects my neck, my shoulders, my head. I feel like this sense of tension. So there is this sense of friction. It's different because I'll tell you what, like with my mom, like she's explosively like angry sometimes, when I talk to her. That's the feeling I get with my mom. But this is like it's a different kind of rub. I feel like this kind of rub is actually kind of good for you because you're really, as you're rubbing, you're seeing yourself, you're feeling yourself, you're becoming more aware of yourself, what you want, what is right, standing up for yourself. But I feel like there is like as she rubs against you, you become more fine. You become more polished. Not that she's doing you the favor. I'm not saying like that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's so great. More, please. I'm not saying that. But what I'm just feeling is like actually like, but also I hear there's no love lost. So I don't know what that means, but I hear that. Um, I don't know how that means for you, but I hear there's no love lost. And then just kind of like, as that friction happens for you, I do feel in a sense of like your life and going forward, you're better off for all the experiences that you've had with her, particularly because it's made you acutely aware of yourself. And I just hear like you are a very good person. You are a good person. You're striving to be a good person. And the message I hear is that you don't want to let anybody hurt you anymore. But the interesting thing about that is that when I say hurt you, I've had a similar experience myself where I became acutely aware of all the hurt that I've ever felt in my life wasn't because somebody hurt me and was nasty to me, is that I was aware that when they were nasty to me or hurt me, they were actually being loveless themselves, and I felt sad for them that they missed out on that experience of love. That it was I hurt because they hurt themselves. Does that make sense? I know that sounds like really weird how I'm saying that, but it's almost like don't feel bad for the things that people say or do as if it was something to do with you. It's really like them, and you're experiencing that state of lovelessness or that almost like vacuum of like there's no love there. Like why are you acting that way? Like that's just the sense I get. I speak purely from feeling. I'm not speaking from like a conscious like this makes sense. I'm just telling you what I feel. So
I think
I'll, I'll leave the interpretation to you.
I think that could, the way that you're describing it, it could feel puzzling, especially if you're like a child, right? Because then you don't have a very good understanding of where that's coming from. But I think as I've gotten older, especially into my 30s, is when I think that's also why there's no love lost because we didn't really have a contentious relationship. But as I entered my 30s, I'm like, this is just who she is. This is a reflection of who she is. This
Yeah.
is who she's going to continue to be if she doesn't want to change. And I think for a while, I would think I feel bad for her if she doesn't make changes because her behavior alienates people in a way. Um, and so um that maybe her life is very lonely because of that, but it's also funny for you to say two different textures because sometimes getting older is just like, oh, I'm like, I understand her more than I ever had. I become more like her in some ways as I age. So
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I feel like with that being said, I don't know why, but I feel vis-a-vis what's going on in the country is almost like there will be a moment or there is a moment or has been a moment there it feels like two different stances on things, like just seeing things completely differently. I don't know why, but it's just like I just feel like don't even try to understand because it's a very warped perspective. I don't know why I hear that, but it's just kind of like, and then also the connection to a man with her whose energy feels almost globby, like a goblin energy. It's so weird.
hmm.
There's just that kind of person. It's a real person. I feel this is a real person. This is a man. This is a man's energy. This is a tall, thin person. It feels like a goblin, globby energy, and this person's just honor. And even psychically, it's like they looped onto her, like like an influence or an infection from a man. So there's this interference from a male energy on the psychic level with a man. So I don't know what that is, but I see it. It feels like a spiritual issue, which I think affects her behavior or how she talks. It's like a film, a goopy film. I have a girlfriend who does energy work, and she sees entities like this, and she helps people clear them because they make you nasty. I don't know why. It's not my realm of mastery. It's hers. Her name is Dr. Michelle Dexter. She does protocols with that. But I feel like there's this energy, this man energy connected to your mom. It's been quite some time. I hear 5, 6 years connected to her. So I don't know what
Do,
that.
do you think that that's something that you would see and feel like it was related to a health issue?
Yeah, I think so. I think that the psychic affects your health. It pushes it out. You see what I'm saying?
Because for a good while now, it's unfortunately kind of a running joke, but she's getting up there, she's not with it like she would be,
Oh, it's
like
interesting. Because
like
it's on one side. So it's
like
affecting.
we would very much expect, like I could see progressing over time that she would have like dementia.
So who's the guy then?
I
That's
have
what I want
no
to know.
idea.
Is
Tall
it
and thin.
tall and
It's
thin
definitely
man?
not her dad. Her dad is so
I
awesome.
thought you were gonna say it's definitely not her brother. Thank you, Autumn.
Or her brother. Her brother is fine.
No, because
It's
if
a whole
I
thing. It's a whole thing, Leslie. Okay.
no, because
I
if it
don't
was a
know.
husband energy, I would have said it. If it was a dad energy, I would have said it. If it was this, I would have said it. I don't feel that. I feel that this is somebody who would be her own contemporary on her side. It doesn't
Well,
feel like family to me, to be
uh,
honest with you. It feels like a friend or an influence of somebody. I
well,
don't
see
mean
this.
blood related. I don't feel blood related. It feels like somebody who would almost like, oh, you know that in the movie Princess and the Frog, and you got the guy with the cards, and he's like, I got friends on the other side. It's like a person like that who makes promises to you, tells you things. I wouldn't be surprised if it's somebody connected to church or an organization or something like that. I feel like somebody's got an energy influence on her, and in a
That's
weird way, sex
crazy.
energy.
That's
Sorry?
crazy because the only reason why it's crazy is like, and this is pretty much what I'm talking about, is she doesn't go anywhere and she doesn't have any friends. So she's just very like isolative. She does her thing every day. She doesn't like to leave the house.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get the rods out because I'm telling you, we're gonna do something fun. We're freestyling today. I think this is cool. Listen, look, show me a
Love how
yeah.
you just have those on hand. That's fantastic.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I do. Show me a no. Okay, is this connection to Sherika's mother a living human being? Okay, so this is a living human being. Is this somebody who lives around her? No. Is this somebody who would be connected through a religious organization? No. Somebody connected to a work situation? There's a work situation.
Hmm.
Well, where's your mom? Was your mom working or doing any kind of work capacity stuff the last 5, 6 years?
I think that that's the point at which she retired. I can't remember how long it's been since she retired, but
I wonder. Okay.
and she did always kind of talk about, I don't know, she had like a boss that she was more or less fond of. But you know what? Before she left work, she was having like a hard time here and there. I don't know the details of it, but
Is this entity connected to a person who she worked directly with? Is somebody that she collaborated with? It's not moving. Somebody that was a customer of some kind? No.
but you said no blood relative.
Is this a blood relative? It's not moving, so no. Is
Wow.
this somebody connected to a circle of friends? Okay, so I think it's more towards the circle of friends, work situation, friends, work, friend, something like
A
there
neighbor?
you go.
Oh,
Whoa, what were you thinking about, Sharika?
I was still thinking about how she has no friends, Leslie. She complain. It's so funny because she complains about a neighbor. He's not tall and skinny.
that's what I said, a neighbor.
But it's like one of the funny things that they'll be like, they kind of question where she is mentally is that my dad and my brother's like, yeah, she just goes on and on about the neighbor and what he's got going on in his yard, and like they're all friends with the neighbor, but she's like, so it's just more evidence for them that she's just off-putting and can't,
Okay, so is this has to do with the neighbor man? Because there's something there. But so she retired. Okay, so 6 years ago she retired, and then there was the neighbor man. But what happened? But I keep being brought, my guides are saying 5, 6 years ago, think back because I don't know why this is important because this is important to all of us. So I'm just saying, educating you on how it works for me is when I'm helping somebody figure something out, I'm figuring something out. I'm learning something too. And the witness, Autumn, she's learning something too. So the question is what was going on with your mom 5, 6 years ago? Okay, she retired. There's this work situation slash this neighbor guy. And it's like this guy is on her. Like it's a gloop thing. So what was going on? Just free
well,
flow. What was going on 5, 6 years ago with your mom?
what I would tell you is that I don't know because I've lived here for 10 years. But if my daughter will be 7 in a few months, I went to go visit at that time.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know. So we've had some kind of contentious visits. I think after the last visit, she said something to me or she texted me out of the blue. We had a great time, great visit. After I got back home, she texted me out of the blue, basically a long paragraph about how, I don't know, about how us visiting made the house dirty. I know. I know. And, and I was like, I'm so tired of you. Like, I'm so tired of you. I promise that you will never have to see me again.
And when was that?
It was about that time, right?
What is this?
Wasn't it about that time? 5, 6 years ago?
I think it was, I don't think it was that long. But
Try.
when I came 5, 6 years ago, she was a baby. She was 1. And even at that time, I I took her with me, and I just didn't feel very supported. So I was trying to do things, and she was 1. They have a house full of tile, a house full of wood, and she's trying to walk. So I have to kind of follow her around everywhere, keep her everywhere. And it wasn't restful. It wasn't vacation. And I kind of felt like my parents, should be more involved. I'm like, here's your granddaughter. She's here. You never see her. Um, and so I just think a lot of it is just not the response that I'd be looking for, which pretty much characterizes the entire relationship. And so a lot of the last few years has just been the acceptance of what it's just not going to be. And it's going to be okay, but like it's not going to be the kind of relationship that I ever wanted it to be. I don't know.
When you say that, what I hear is that's good. And it shows you. from the friction point of view, it shows you like who you are and who you're not. So I get that now. Like her rubbing the wrong way. I get that now. I feel what we're gonna learn is something spiritual. And I say spiritual. Spiritual for me is scientific in the sense that we don't have a logical explanation to explain it just yet. We don't have a scientific way of measuring it. So I feel like this natural, I say natural, but spiritual in the sense where we're not going to be able to understand it through typical scientific method yet. I feel just by listening to this, I'm already just picking stuff up. So let's use a dowsing rod to see if I'm full of shit or not, because I don't know. I don't know where this is going. I never do.
I
But
don't know. I didn't know she knew any men. I didn't.
okay, so is this somebody that she is the entity, the neighbor? So it's no. Is the entity connected to a person she worked with at work? Okay. So is this person who she worked with at work had some kind of psychic attack on her? Okay, yes. Does it have something to do with, is this energetic web? Okay, so there's an energetic web because I see it like a net on her, the side of her head and one side of her arm. I want to say her right side. So it affects her head to her hands. It's not on the bottom half, just the top half. I think it affects her brain functioning. That's what I'm feeling. And I feel, does this have to do with some kind of obsessiveness? Yes. Is it a hyperfixation on other people? Okay. Is this something that it feels like an attachment to a person? Was there a relationship with this colleague that was inappropriate? So there's something there. Deep, dark secrets. Is it affecting her mental health? Is it affect, is it almost like what it feels like, to be honest, is like her mind is merged with another person's mind, and there's like some kind of symbiotic relationship. Okay, so we see that. Does she have a symbiotic mental relationship with Sherika's father? Ah, so there's something there. She's, I wouldn't say it's demonic. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like there's a psychic, like her mind is with somebody else. Oh, oh, okay.
Why do we all do that?
So there's something there. I think that is this somebody else energetically getting between Sharika and her mother? Yeah, yeah. Is there something that we can do mentally or spiritually to help her mother? Yes. Is it about visualizing this entity off of her? Yeah. Okay, so I want everyone to imagine, I don't know what your mother looks like, but I'm going to put a form of a woman in front of me who I'm going to label Sharika's mother. And I see like it's a weird succubus type energy. It's like a green glob like slime connected to her mother's head and her neck and her shoulders, her hands. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put the light of God over her mother. Over her mother. And we're going to ask the light of God to release her mother from this attachment. We're going to ask the guides to step in with this golden light of God and to create a protection around her mentally, emotionally, and physically, and to heal all the hurt that her mother has caused everyone in her life, and to rip out the roots. There we go. I see it now. Rip out the roots of hurt from Sherika and to dissolve those roots of hurt, blame, pain, and any kind of disgusting things that makes her feel yucky. And when all of that is released, I want it to just show me an open wide. And when it's done, it'll be wide open. There we go. So I think what we saw was kind of like attachment energy, We some energy healers call it cords. For me, I saw a root because it was feeding off of you. Like she feeds off your hurt. She feeds off, you know what I mean? Like she gets energy from you. She gets attention from you. It's like a until you're
Yeah.
drained. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like somebody's doing that to her. So there's like this, somebody must have done something. This reminds me of a time when I did a reading for somebody who, of course I do a lot of free readings. So people call me and they're in crisis. And this woman was like, I'm having weird problems at work. And somebody at her work had opened a portal and I would say unclean spirits, like, people with who were alcoholics, who are earthbound, who, just want to cause havoc and are still attached, they'll find people. And of course, where is a great environment to attach onto people, but in a healthcare environment? That, you know what I mean? Like a hospital, because people's energy fields are very low and they're very weak energetically. So, in that state of energetic weakness, when we're down and when we're not feeling good, or when we're physically like afraid, or we're sick, or taking chemo, or we're taking something, or whatever, our energy level gets low because our spirit moves out of our body and kind of hovers. And so we're not totally in our body. And because that, our auric field is low. I know I'm getting super metaphysical. Bear with me here. But then anyway, that leads us more to attachment. That leads us more like people leeching off of us, or being attacked. Like people who are perverse will see people with weak auras and they'll go to them. So my message here for you is, and for all of us, is when you have a very strong aura, when your soul's in your body and you are illuminated and you are in you through the illumination are healing everything in your soul and healing everything around you. It kind of like what we just experienced is through your own aura and what I'm picking up and I'm verbalizing as a channel. I'm not doing the work, you're doing the work. I'm just verbalizing it. You're helping your mother and you're helping people. I'm not saying sit here all day and obsess and be like, oh, she's got attachment to this and that. That's not what I'm saying is given the opportunity, this Sharika is what you can do. What you can do, not me, what you can do. You can do that. I think that when you are feeling people who are hurting, and my wonderful announcement is segues into this. When you feel people are hurting, you can do a healing without their presence and even without their seeming consent. But my experience is that when people are hurting and they're lashing out with you, they are giving you permission to help them. Absolutely. They're begging you for love, but they don't know how to receive your love. That's the problem. So you don't work on the conscious level because I can tell you this right now, that is a jar that will not open. So you have to work on their soul level. I think, Sharika, your gift going forward individually as I give you this reading is that you can help people on the soul level. I really do believe that you can do that just from what I was picking up from you. And you go, okay, the question is how? You'll know. It might be a prayer. It might be lighting a candle and making a visualization. It might be telling them no. You know what I mean? You'll know. You will know. So I want you to think going forward. I'm not going to try to cajole and talk people into understanding and making sense so they can, through this acquisition of wisdom that I'm trying to give them on the conscious level, that they will somehow change. Girl, they will never understand you. They will never, ever on a conscious level understand you, but their soul will. So speak to the soul, may I say. Speak to their soul. Even if you see somebody on the side of the road, like a homeless guy, he ain't gonna listen to you. He's drugged out or whatever. Speak to his soul and say, what are you doing here? You know you shouldn't be doing this or whatever. Or why are you here? You here to do something useful? That's what you can do. Speak to them on a soul level. Does that make sense to you?
It does, even for you to say, I don't know how it will be, but you'll know. But then to say to speak it, I'm always told that for me, it's talking, speaking things aloud.
Yeah. But you're not speaking to the conscious mind. You might as well be speaking gibberish to them.
Oh, I know. I'm going to give up.
It's like Somalian, like blah, 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 they don't understand that language. They're not even, they can't even, they're not at the frequency to hear it. It's like a bat. Only bats can hear certain frequencies, but their soul can understand. When I'm here in France and I'm doing energy healing, I'll speak in English and do muscle testing on them. Their soul understands English and their soul can telepathically speak. So that's my feeling for you is that what we just demonstrated here together. And again, healing is not always just like just one person fixing somebody, it's a group. When two or three are gathered in his name and the spirit, we help together, we work together. That's the important thing. I think that's why we have these group meetings because we're all healing together all these things that we feel. And you telling me your experience with your mom's, I lived that. I know exactly what you're saying. And I've had to go no contact because it was just like venomous. Every time I talk to her, just can't help it. Just can't help it. So I feel like what you're saying is something relating to me. I get it now as we discuss for this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's see what's going on with Autumn. Let's take a deep breath so I can connect. This is interesting because Autumn, as I connect to you, I already feel this connection of being a white woman in the past life. And I'm looking in the mirror and I'm putting on my makeup and I'm putting on this foundation. I like it. But do you know what's interesting? As I am this white woman, it feels like I'm in the 50s. I want to say 1954, 1955. There's a guide stepping through for you, but I'm going to relay that. I feel like the guide's helping me because I feel like as I look in the mirror, I wonder what it's like to have black skin. I wonder what it's like to have melanin. I wonder what it feels like. And I feel like you're learning some things from a past incarnation and you're having a new understanding, the dimensionality of being a woman of color. It means something. It means something to be a woman of color in America. And I feel like that wisdom that you have gained, that multifaceted perspective that you have gained of being a brown woman in America has given you a deeper cultural and psychological understanding of women like us. And it's not just like I'm white and I'm black or I'm light brown or I'm this or I'm yellow or I'm red. It's not as clear cut as that. And I feel from your point of view, there is a lot of wisdom from you simply being a blank woman and relating the message and the truth of that experience. Because when I feel your energy as a white woman, I don't feel like a racist white woman or Karen. I feel very curious. You have a very curious soul. I want to feel, I want to know, I want to understand, I want to help. And through your empathy, but more than that, putting yourself in a position to understand through experience, you are very wise. I feel that wisdom is coming forward with your volunteer efforts, with your work, with what we're doing here together, and helping people be much more understanding and gentle with each other through empathy, through relatability. You're very relatable, is what I hear. Now, I'm hearing something else. It's not as cute. This is the guide energies. The guide is like saying, She's an Asian lady with a Native American man. There's two. And they're saying to me, don't let anybody rip you off. I don't know what that means. Don't let anybody rip you off. Don't let anybody rip you off. So I'm hearing this. They're making me feel that there's people coming around you who lie to you. They're not trying to get you to do anything, but they are trying to get you to feel a certain way. I feel more like emotional manipulation. I feel like when you're witnessing certain things, when you're hearing certain things, to not allow yourself to be emotionally manipulated, not allow somebody to make you feel a way that you don't want to feel, and to deceive you. And I feel like the gift that you have and that you are, I know this is weird when I say this, but it's almost like magic. You say, if they're lying to me, their tongue will be on fire. I don't know why. It's like, show me if they're lying to me, their tongue will be on fire. So I don't know if it's like they eat something hot and they're like, oh, that was hot, or they say something or something. But it's almost like you can say, you have the ability to say to somebody, if they're lying to me, like, liar, liar, pants on fire, but it's their
Uh-huh.
tongue.
Mm.
And almost like you can say to another person's soul, if you're lying to me, your tongue's going to be on fire. If you are trying to rip me off, you're going to stumble and I will see it. Like literally trip. Like it's almost like if you use your language and but it's really to filter out who's trying to take advantage of you. This is really the gift is like, if you're lying, your tongue's on fire. If you try to cheat me, you will stumble. If you are deceiving me, something will fall off of you. It seems very, like New Orleans kind of, you know what I mean? Like kind of a voodoo thing. It kind you know what I mean? Like a Haitian kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like an African
Yeah.
kind of
Yes,
magic.
because it's funny you say that because I've been thinking that for a while now. Like I want those that are lying to me to be revealed because I think it was something that you said. I think it was you that said before that um, someone is a rat around me, and
Yes.
ever since I was like. I want to do something for them to be revealed, like they're lying to be revealed. And I've been very interested in a while for in hoodoo and voodoo and African spirituality. So I had actually just bought a book of songs and I've been looking through it, like what can I say, to myself to have like all of that to be revealed, who the rat is, who is lying to me, who is trying to cheat me. So
That's
I've been thinking that ever since you told me there's a rat around me.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's fascinating even to me because I have not myself because I have been trained in Eastern, Buddhist, Hindu, Reiki, hands-on healing, acupuncture, Chinese medicine. I've been trained a lot in San Diego on the Eastern stuff. I've been so interested in the African stuff because I was shown in some healing stuff that I've been through, very interesting things about African healing. Like think about it for a second. In the pyramids, that's African healing. That's sound healing. That's light therapy.
Mhm,
But we just think it's only just Arabs. That's not,
mhm,
what are you talking about? African healing is Egyptian healing too. It's not
mhm,
just that. It's not just Middle Eastern mysticism, which is awesome, but we don't give enough credit to African healing. And one of the oldest, most powerful form of healing. And Edgar Casey in the readings talks a lot about ancient Egypt. And he talks a lot about the sound healing and I also have and he also says in the readings, if you look up the Akashic readings of Edgar Casey, he talks about the half human, half animal hybrid entities. And I have had visions where I've seen them, the head of Horus, like half bird and half.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that, and he talks about in a reading that the Africans created a way to heal people from this condition. Like, these Greek mythology about the half human and all this. He said, no, that was warped mind. And then the Egyptians created the healing methods to restore them to a more perfect body. I mean, I know that's wild and that's whole another level of like, ancient aliens kind of stuff. But let's think about that. Why not? And I think it's interesting that you bring that up because even for me, I'm interested in like, whoa, there's some secrets there worth exploring. And it's simple, not just like engineering marvels, but I mean like what you just said. Like if they're like it's like you could even say like if they're a rat, let's see them wear Mickey Mouse or let's wear them like a Mickey Mouse apparel
Powerful.
or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. That really is
Mm-hmm.
interesting. That is very, very
Mm-hmm.
interesting. I do think that you do have that gift of, and again, this goes back to speaking. Show me who the rat is with a rat symbol or a mouse symbol or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Show me if they're lying, may their tongue be on fire. They might be eating like Chipotle and they have hot sauce and they're like, it's too hot. I'm making it up, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a very interesting thing, which leads me to, and of course, I'll let you have your input in a second, but it leads me to this point where when I was doing some healing work at a Ven at the thermal spa, which is a very mystical place, I saw myself working with my guides, having sessions like this, helping people figure out and reveal to themselves and to discover their spiritual gifts. What are your gifts? I know a lot of my gifts, and I'm sharing them with you, and I'm showing you not through
Mm-hmm.
demonstration, but that it's natural that we all have these gifts and sharing with you what spirit has bring through me because loving you is loving me by
Mm-hmm.
letting this flow through me. I feel great. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
benefit for me. So my thing that I'm going to be doing now, and I got my office set up here, and it's me speaking French in metaphysical terms is horrible. I don't have the vocabulary, but I want to open it to help as many people as possible, especially during this time in society. What are your gifts? How can you help yourself? How can you help those around you? It's not just me being there for you, but helping you illuminate yourself so you can start using your own intuitive abilities and faculties, which are all inherent in all of us. And we all have something special and different to figure out how we can help other people. In this situation, as we've discovered, we helped Sherika's mom, helped me with my mom for sure. And then Autumn here, we're helping you. But as you help you and your colleagues, you're helping your customers, you're helping everybody who comes around you, and you're elevating the space. I feel like this is kind of the purpose of today. My feeling is as a group, I feel like we're energetically moving on from the mess in America. We didn't vote for this. We didn't create this. We weren't a part of the system. We were never a part of it to begin with. They wouldn't even let us in.
Mm-hmm.
We've been systematically oppressed by it. Oh, finally, white people are starting to figure out that they're included in the Latin. You ain't rich
Okay.
and white? Yeah, you in it too.
Very true.
What do you girls think? What's your vibe? What's your intuition today? You tell me.
Mhm. Right now, I just keep thinking I'm gonna reveal all these liars, all these.
Oh, you know what could also be good? If they like me then show me a flower or show me a heart or show me something. Kind of like, like an emoji.
Hmm.
Psychic emojis.
Hmm. That's cute. I also, this might be a little off topic, but lately I've been seeing a lot of hummingbirds. And when I see them, I just feel joy and just feel surrounded like by my spirit team. But I've been seeing them so much, like whether they're out and about, like flying around my apartment, or like I'm scrolling on Instagram, I'll see like a drawing of a hummingbird or a video of a hummingbird. But it's just been so much lately. I feel like maybe it's connected to my spirit team, but also like, what is the message? Like, but I feel joy. So I know it's something positive, and it could just be that, just feeling connected to spirit and feeling like joy and reminding myself that, you know, to be joyful and be free like a hummingbird. But I've just been seeing them so much lately.
You know what my sense is from that? Immediately, because when I lived in San Diego, they were everywhere. They nested, they were everywhere. They lived there. My property was we call that a certified animal sanctuary. And the thing that I heard from you and I saw as you said this was remember the hummingbird their arms, their frequency is at a very fast rate, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What I saw was is that you're outside and your heart is glowing gold and you're at the frequency. And that frequency is bringing them to you. It's very
Mm-hmm.
like I think your guide you have what I'm being shown is you have like an like yeah I see an Asian lady, a Native American man, but I also see like almost like a Lao Tzu like old Asian man, kind of a like not ninja but like a Tai Chi kind of guy, and it's a very like energy frequency based. Which now as I say this to you because I'm learning something, he's showing me that if when you have your heart beating, let's just say, vibrating at a certain frequency, you attract that. That's just so the secret, isn't it? It's so silly to say, but it's like you are attracting the readings. Edgar Casey reading says like begets like. The French say the cats don't make dogs. So when your heart is in this frequency of joy, you are attracting and you are aligning that which is of the frequency of joy. So, with that being said, may I say, we've had previous discussions about the house and the vacation and the
I have
money
a house.
and your grandmother and all of that. You have to ask yourself, and this is for sure, because well, this is for me and anyone listening, what is the frequency of this house? It comes from your heart. It is aligned with your heart. It is being like a Care Bear released from your heart. What is the expression they say? Home is where the what is?
Heart is.
There you go. Right there.
Aw,
Home
home
is
is where the
where the
heart is.
heart is. Where is my heart? And you have to go, okay, heart, I have a home and it is there. I would love to know. Speak to your soul. Speak, your soul is in your heart. When we're thinking, we're burning our hair to and singeing it by overthinking, but we have to drop into our heart. You know, with energy work, they always say, go to your heart. So corny, but it's true. And you
Mm-hmm.
have to say, okay, heart, if my heart, I have trained myself to be at the frequency of joy, and that the universe is the mirror of my frequency. It reveals to me that which I assume to be true, that which I am. I am joy. Okay? You have the house. I'm telling you, Autumn, I was in my house. a year ago in San Diego, and I was sitting in the backyard, and I said to my husband, I said, I sure would love to have a very shallow pool that is a rectangle with a stone wall to the right of me. Look at that.
Mhm.
Girl, you have to go there in your heart. Hear it from your heart. Go in the frequency. I have my house, my home. My home is where my heart is. Show me my home. Reveal it to me. Bring it to my conscious mind. Feel that which is you will experience that which you resonate your frequency to. That I could preach that all day long and teach that all day long. It is frequency, it is vibration. Science tells us this. So you have your house, you have your money, you have all these things. Sometimes I like to play games with money to a very specific cent. So I'll put like a so X amount with a 0.60, or I put it so I know it was me that did it. And you have to remember when it comes to manifestation, good, bad, and indifferent, you always have yourself to thank. I hate it. People hate it. I've had some clients who absolutely hate it. I'm like, well, you did this, you created this.
Mhm.
You have yourself to thank, good, bad, and indifferent. But may I say, a little congratulatory pat on our back. We have done the work, and we're here now, and we get to enjoy. And unfortunately, ladies, there's many people who can't come to the party. They don't have the invitation. And in a weird way, it's like like Wizard of Oz. You have to click your heels together and say, "There's no place like home." You have to go there in mind and in spirit and in your heart. It's not a physical place. It's a spiritual place. It's a dwelling house. And this is where we are today. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who's not watching this live and who's not here is like, you're bad and you didn't do something wrong. You still work for you to do, girls. We have
Mhm.
all been through hell, all of us.
Yes. Yes.
But we're on the other side of it. Doesn't mean, and the cool thing is going through hell is you realize you ain't the body. You're something else. You're eternal. That, it's like that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stories. Like, I saw they threw them in and they saw the spirits walking in with them. That's who you are. That is your true essence. So you could go through hell. The Bible says you could go through hell and God and you make your bed in hell and God will be there with you. Okay. So that's that psychological sense that wherever you go, your guides will be there. God, God, love, universe, oneness, your spirit, Jesus, and all. They're always there with you. We just have not opened the doors of our consciousness to recognize who we have available and what is available to us. So my final point is my goal as we work together and as you begin to flex your abilities and to practice everything we've discussed today is my wholehearted goal is that you become aware of everything that is available to you. That is my goal. Everything that is available to you to the dollar, to the cent. May you have it. May you have it all. May you relax. May you enjoy. May you have peace. May you feel the love in your heart and release the hurt from the awareness of others who are loveless. May you have that experience. So that's my final point today. If you know anybody who's interested, I have said to people, I have my rates, but I do sliding scales for people. And obviously, I volunteer and do things for free, and I speak for free and for discounted rates and these types of things. My goal is to very much help people recognize their own spiritual gifts and show them how they can help other people, help themselves, and to live more abundantly. That's really my goal, is for people to have all these wonderful things. If it's a buffalo skull, if it's a cat bikini, you'll see my reels, Sherika. The most random things that I get. Like, I wanted so desperately a vintage cutting knife. And I would imagine myself cutting the bread and the meat with this vintage cutting. I would close my eyes and I would have hold that thing in my hand and I hear that nee, and I'm walking around and I see something, I see a piece of art that I wanted, and he says, €3. Yeah. And then I'd see the knife and I said, well, how much will you give the knife? I got $5. And he looks around and he goes, well, I don't have any change, so €2. I got a brand new vintage knife for $2. And that's silly, right? You don't want that. But it is my heart's desire. And that's my heart's desire is that you get your heart's desire. If that makes sense. So
Mhm.
that's my mission is that everybody gets their heart's desire. And when we all do, everybody gets their fair share. Everybody gets their piece of the pie. It's more than
Mhm.
enough for all of us. And that's what I want to do. So I do appreciate you ladies for joining me. If there's any final thoughts or blessings that you want to give to the people who are going to watch this recording, that'd be great before I let you go.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
your
so much,
energy as always.
Georgine.
You're so welcome, girls. And let me know how things go via DM. You can always message me, and I would love to hear your updates and your stories and, anything you learn, you teach me.
Will do. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you. Have a great night and great month ahead, and I'll see you next time.
You
All right.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.